Hi friends, I have a very nice story to tell you from 2008, and my daughter was with me, and I'm calling it Northbound. The summer heat shimmered off the asphalt that day in 2008, the kind of thick air that hums with the sound of insects and distant engines. My daughter and I were walking back to the car when she spotted it. A pigeon crouched beneath a parked sedan, feathers ruffled, chest heaving like a tiny bellows. When I bent down, I saw something that made me flinch. A school compass, the kind used to draw circles in math class, had been jammed into the empty barrel of a pen, duct taped together and driven through the bird's right leg. The wound was caked and dried with blood, the flesh swollen tight. His breathing came in shallow bursts, and I could see the tremor in his wing. I used my shirt to steady him, wrapping the thin fabric around his thigh as I pulled the sharp metal free. He didn't struggle, only shivered once, a quiet surrender. We drove home 8 miles through the slow heat of the afternoon. I gave him birdseed and water, and for the night placed him gently in an old zippered cage where a chameleon used to live. He barely moved. He just sat in the dim light, one eye half closed. By morning, he was still alive, a small miracle. Over the next few days, he began to heal. First he stood, then he ate, then he started to move. Limping at first, one wing slightly drooped as he tested his balance. He made slow, uneven circuits around the pool, head bobbing in quick, jerky rhythms, like a chicken keeping time to some secret tune. We watched, both hopeful and heartbroken, as each day his steps grew steadier. We hoped he'd take flight soon, that instinct would lead him home. But each evening when I opened the back door to let the dogs in, the pigeon would march right in with them, as if he, too, belonged in our little flock. 2 weeks passed this way. He seemed content with our rhythms, mornings outside, evenings indoors, sleeping again in the chameleon's cage as night fell. By the 3rd week, I began to worry he might forget the sky. I took him outside each day, balancing him on my open hand, his toes warm and light against my skin. I moved my arm up and down, urging him to catch the wind, but he only blinked and swayed, calm as if the ground were enough. One evening, I set him on the grass and went inside, thinking maybe the quiet would stir some wild within him. When dusk settled, I opened the door, and there he was again, patiently waiting on the porch, a small gray silhouette in the fading light. The same thing happened the next night. On the 3rd night, I lifted him one more time. The air was cooling, scented faintly of jasmine and dust. I raised my arm up and down like before. And this time he spread his wings wider than I'd ever seen, and he launched himself into the air. He rose fast, wings flashing in the sunset, and then he was above the rooftops, a swift gray blur heading north. I stood there a long time, hands still outreached, listening to the fast fading beats of his wings. He never came back, but every summer evening since, when the sky burns gold and softens to blue, I still find myself looking north, just in case. And that's a true story. We rescued this little guy and brought him home, and I say little guy, I'm not sure it was a guy. And we had a busy household with lots of pets, lots of teenagers, and we did the best we could to nurse him back, and it kind of backfired for a while because he wanted to stay there. And while he was nice, a pigeon just didn't really fit in with parrots and dogs and cats and teenagers. And, they don't really sit on their feet are different than her feet are. She's got 2 toes in the front and 3 in the back, and they curve really well around a branch. And he liked to be on the ground, and he was just going to get walked on. But anyway, it was a really special time, and I do wish he would have come back and visit. That would have really been nice, but he didn't. And I think he found his way back home 8 miles away. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Bye.